Hey guys, the Hunter with Hawkeye here. You're watching our Let's Play series, and today we are in the bayou. We're going to get after some whitetail deer. We'll be opportunistic and take some hogs and bear if they cross our path. But our main objective today is to get after some trophy whitetail. So what are we bringing? Still using the bullpup. We'll be bringing that with me. I'm not taking the 12 by 50 scope today. I'm taking the 3 to 9 by 40, and still bringing the aim point to switch to. Bringing my Parker Python. Almost forgot the sights there. Bringing the 44 revolver. Iron sights on that. For calls, we're just bringing the grunt call and the hog squealer. I've got my wind indicator, scent eliminator. I've got the camo face paint with me. I don't think I'm going to put that on, but I'll bring it just in case things get bad. But bringing first aid kit. I don't know if there's even a place where you can fall here, but there is, of course, hogs and bear. So there was always a chance of getting attacked here. Bringing camping supplies in case I want to fast travel. For clothing, pretty simple here. I've got the Boone and Crockett set, with the exception of the hat. I'm going with the cowboy hat, which gives me some benefits versus all species. So that's it for gear. Let's take a look at the map here real quick. Let you know what my plan is. I'll usually head down here. I will probably hear some deer before I get down here to the actual swamp. Then I'll head over here by this tripod stand, and then I'll head southeast over here by this little pool of water here, and then down this way. When it gets down this far south, I usually just let the animals tell me where to go from there. I really don't have a set path once I get down here. I just always check this area. So we'll get started, and I'll bring you in when we get some action. This will be a good time to test that wind indicator. You can see the leaves coming off the trees, and they're heading that way, so northeast. So I'll see if our wind indicator does the same. And it does. Good. Alright, okay, we got our first call. It's from a doe down here. Now, what I usually do here in the bayou is when I hear a doe, I will go in closer and then call her to me and take her out with the bow. Now, you can make the argument that I could just ignore it, and sure, I could ignore it, but then there's more of a chance if I do so that when I'm calling that buck in, I'm going to be surrounded by does and possibly spook the buck off. So what I do is I go ahead and just thin them out as I hear them and see them, so that when that moment comes that I encounter a buck, hopefully I get him alone. So we'll get over here and start calling and make a shot on this doe with the bow. Well, it's our lucky day. Look at that. Piebald. Sweet. Alright. So our first deer of the day is a rare. Check that out. Nice coloration. Definitely get a trophy shot of all rares. Okay, we got another set of tracks here. We'll see what that is. Small female bear. We'll keep heading down the road here, heading towards the swamp. We got a little swamp hog over here making a run for us. I haven't been hitting the collar, so she's just doing that on her own. You can see my tripod stands right up there. And if she keeps running up here, I'll shoot her with the bow. Looks like she'll turn. Nice flock of mallards. We're not interested in those right now though. I've got some big whitetail tracks here. They are old tracks. They're about 58 minutes or so, somewhere in that range. But instead of getting in the tripod stand, I am going to follow this and see if we can find this buck, or maybe encounter some other bucks along the way to him. You can see he goes 70 to 90 kilograms, so he could potentially be big, he could be real small. There's really no telling when you've got that kind of range. There's the small bear we've been tracking. She's going away from us. Still on this buck's tracks. I'm going to walk a little bit, pick up a little speed. We've got a doe in the way here. Oh, that's no good. I don't like the direction she ran either. I'm still tracking that buck, and that's where he's at. We'll mark that spot. We'll come back to her. And here's our buck track. See what I'm talking about. 11 to 18. He's probably far enough that she didn't spook him. I really expected that arrow to drop her, though. I don't know what happened there. So we'll keep trucking here. Should be getting close enough to start calling him pretty soon. Okay, we've got a call from another one. And we are definitely going to put eyes on him before we pursue this one we've been tracking. He can run, but he can't hide. We can always get to him. So we'll slip over here and see if we can find this one. Okay, now we've got a third one that grunted over there. First one's right there. He's not that impressive. 125 to 165. He's probably around 130. He doesn't have enough points. But I thought I saw this one over here earlier. Just a glimpse, and thought he looked good. Now It may have been the top of the antlers from him. From the side don't look bad, but once you look at him head on, you realize he's missing points that he needs. That was unexpected. That's the one I've been tracking. Okay, so we got him out of the way. And he wasn't that big either. You saw he was missing points there. So we'll stick here and hopefully get eyes on everything around us. Here comes that second one. I was right. He's gonna be okay here. Let's see, the estimate 145 to 185. He's got a good high rack. He's got several points there. I don't know, probably 14 points. And the reason I brought the bullpup is I don't want to waste any time when I find one worth taking. Well, we may go ahead and take this one. He's going to come right in. Okay, now we can be patient on that third one. He's finally moved. Okay, so we'll get to gathering them up. I'm usually not this far west of those ruins. .161, so he's not that great. Okay, so from here, since I've just shot a firearm, I've spooked everything already. I'm gonna run around and check tracks and see if I can find another buck worth pursuing. Okay, so I found some promising tracks here. 75 to 95 kilograms, 33 minutes to 40 minutes old. So we will follow these to their end if he doesn't throw me for a loop here. I want to point this out too. You see, I am level 20 whitetail tracker, but when you're tracking, look at all these tracks. He's done a circle here or something. When you're tracking in the swamp, you get in the water, you can't tell anything about the tracks, which is probably realistic. Not complaining about that at all. That's just how it is. There are times where they can get in the swamp, like that last one I tracked, and walk for, say, 200 meters or so, and you don't know what's going on. You don't know how close they are, and it'll force you to stand up at times because the water is too deep for you to crouch. So the swamp does have its own different challenges. See all these tracks here? If I were anywhere else, I'd be able to tell how old they are and make sense of this mess. But here in the swamp, I can't really do that. I kind of gotta do some guesswork. See, and he's got tracks going every direction, so I'm just gonna have to keep pursuing until I find which way he went out, and then go from there. Okay, what I did was just did a semicircle around that area, and I found his tracks. He was really close when I fired that rifle, probably close enough to spook from it, so one of these is bound to be fleeing tracks, and I'll have to track him down from that. So I'll bring you in when I find him. Okay, he just grunted. There he is. 125 to 170. He's not going to be close to 170. Doesn't have the points in the middle. And you can see his weight estimate is lower here on the spot than it was on the track. So, no worries. I'll bring him in. We'll take him with a bow. A doe coming in behind us. Not what I wanted. He's too far away to be concerned about it. Well, did something right anyway. The does seem to run and the bucks fall today. I guess if you'd have it one or the other, that's how you'd want it. Not a bad buck. We'll go collect this doe and then off to find some more tracks. Well, we might get lucky here and get eyes on another buck real quick. I don't know if you can see him or not. He's right in the crosshairs. There you go. You can see him moving his head. He is not very impressive. He'd be the smallest buck of the day. I'm going to carry on tracking this doe, and if I get close enough to him, take him with a bow, I will. If not, no big deal. There's my doe laying in the water. That's quite a ways for a lung shot doe, and she only bled twice that I found, and then the rest were fleeing tracks from a lung shot at 20 meters. That's pretty crazy. So this buck's just right over here. I'm going to go ahead and take him. He's a little confused, isn't he? Look at that mess. There, we'll give him something to run about. And you can see he doesn't have enough points to score very high at all. But he didn't go far. That doe ran further than he did, and he was hitting liver. She was hitting the lung. So we'll collect her and then we'll get on one. Alright, we'll gather up this doe. See, it caught a lung, went quite a ways. So from here, I'm gonna head up northeast, up to this little pond in the middle of that island. I just seem to have decent luck there, so we'll go see what happens. Alright, so I'm getting a call from a buck here. This is where I shot that last one, if you recognize it. And it shows fully tracked. Now, I believe the only other buck that I had fully tracked and didn't run down was very small as far as weight goes. I want to say it was 70 to 85. But we'll call him out and take a look at him just to see. But I don't anticipate him being a trophy by any means. You never know. We'll at least put eyes on him and find out. Alright, so as suspected, he's not a trophy. He's 95 to 140 and probably around 120 range. But I'll call him in, take him with the bow, be done with him. Alright, no tracking required. Well, that accounts for every buck that we've tracked or heard we have now bagged. So we'll get out of this area like we were doing, head northeast and get to that one little island and see if the luck changes as far as size goes. We need bigger bucks than 160s. We're hoping for 170 plus, maybe even a 180. Okay, finally we have some action. I went all the way up here to this pond, and I've gone all the way down and sweeping around south below the tent here, and that is the first sign of any bucks that I've seen. Haven't had any tracks or anything, so hopefully this is promising. It's been quite a drought. Well, that's definitely a promising buck. 155 to 200. He is plenty wide. Looks like a real good buck from here.
He's definitely got some width, got a lot of points. With a 155 minimum, that's pretty strong. I don't want to shoot him through that tree though. Sometimes it'll clip a limb when it shouldn't, so I want him to clear all that brush. Okay, we're getting close here. Alright, showtime. Okay, let's go check him out. Nice, that's what we wanted right there. Alright, from here I'm going to make my way east towards this tent. Might swing around south of it a little bit and come up this way. Just depends what I see between here and there, but we're going to head that direction anyway. We've got a doe in the way here. Alright, we'll pick her up and continue on the path. I've run into a bunch of hogs. You can hear one there. That's actually a different hog than what I've been hearing. I've had tracks and hogs all over since I hit this spot up here, all the way down. More mallards. Alright, we'll continue the path toward that tent and see what we can find between here and there. Okay, we finally got our first contender here. 80 to 95 kilograms. Tracks are 41 to 48 minutes old. That was the first track I picked up from him. So I'm going to try to catch up to him a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and walk, try to make up some time, and hopefully we can put eyes on this one. It's got pretty good potential. Okay, so we finally heard this guy grunt. You can see we followed him almost to the edge of the map. From up there's where we picked up tracks and came down this way. So we'll get set up and start grunting him in and get eyes on him, see what we're working with. Alright, here's our buck. He's 70 to 110 on the score estimate. Not near big enough. I don't have the best of setups here. There wasn't much high ground to get on. We'll just use a bow, take him out silently. If he'll clear this tree. That's not a good sign. Well, caught lung. I'll track him down and see what else we can find down here. Alright, here's our deer. See, we've got a black bear up there. If you've never seen a chocolate variant, that's what a chocolate looks like. $107 on the buck. That's about what we expected. Didn't think he was anything big. After we spotted him anyway, the weight on his tracks would have indicated he'd have been bigger, but okay, so we're gonna head up that way. So here's a buck that I would consider borderline as far as weight goes. He's 70 to 85. If the tracks were more fresh than that, they're showing over an hour old. If they were fresher tracks, say 20-30 minutes, I'd go after it, but I don't think I'm going to pursue one that's that close to the edge and that old. Also just tracked one that was 50 to 70, and I know he's too small. So not really going to mess with those. Going to continue on and hopefully either hear one, see one, or find tracks of a more promising buck. We've got hogs all over the place here. I really like that, the looks of that one. I forget what that's called, where they get the big stripe in the middle, but it's not officially a rare variant, but it's not all that common either. I don't even think they put it on the score sheet. But we're not here to crack the firearm at hogs. We'll spook any bucks in the area if we do that, so we'll let them go, and we'll head back along our path here. Okay, worked north up here a little bit, and we've got a call from a buck. He's right in there somewhere. Might be able to spot him pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and grunt. And he should be in there somewhere. Don't think he's that far off. So I'll continue to grunt and bring him in closer so we can look at him. Alright, that's our smallest buck of the day, maybe of the year, coming through there. There's a doe over here somewhere. So there she is. She's coming pretty fast. And that's the buck that I'm hearing. I'm going to go ahead and keep calling. We'll take the doe with a bow when she comes in close, and we'll take the buck with a bow after that, hopefully. so we'll track this doe in the process of trying to find our next buck. So there's my doe. She doesn't have any interest in dying, it doesn't seem. Well, then again, she just laid down. She's looking at me. She's gonna bleed out right there, so I'll wait her out and gather her up in a second. Alright, she's finally bled out. Quite a strange shot. Shoulder blade and hip bone. And you see the hole in the neck. That's interesting. Alright, check all these tracks out. That is a good looking bear over here. Behind that tree. So he's a cinnamon bear. I normally wouldn't shoot bear while I'm going after whitetail hardcore, but this has been a hell of a drought on the whitetail, and I don't know if it's because it's middle of the day and a lot of them are bedded down or what, but even on tracking, I'll show you where I went. I went from here to where we are now, and this entire line here, I didn't track a single buck. Tracked 6, 7, 8 does, not one buck. So when I saw this cinnamon bear and got his weight estimate, he was a no-doubter. I definitely had to shoot him, and hopefully we got a good shot. Looks like lungs. Yep. Okay, so we'll track him and get a closer look at him. Alright, he didn't go very far at all. 22.6, that's a really nice bear. We'll get a trophy shot of that. Alright, we're going to give one last buck in this hunt. Right by that cinnamon bear is this hour-old track, 75 to 90 on the weight range of this buck. It's not overly heavy, but he's worth a look, and I'm actually going to sprint catch up to him. His tracks are an hour old, so should be safe. So this is what happens usually when I'm in hot pursuit of a buck. I'll get a call from another one, which is fine. We want to get our eyes on as many bucks as we can. So I'm not going to grunt yet. I'm going to go head to this hilltop. Might be able to spot him down at the edge of the water without having to grunt him in. So we've got another small buck here. We'll go ahead and let him come in, take him with a bow. That is what we wanted. 110, and we'll head back to the tracks. From the other buck, they were still an hour old, so we'll go ahead and sprint. We'll get on those and hopefully get caught up to him. Okay, we have got a grunt here. Tracks were about 40 minutes old, so that's good to get a grunt this fast. So we'll get him in here and take a look at him. There he is. I can't see that rack very well, but it shows 150 to 195. Here he comes. Yeah, he's a looker for sure. There he is. Yeah, tines are nice and tall. All right, let's go take a look. All right, about 160. Not terribly great, but we'll take a trophy shot of it. Alright guys, it looks like a good place to end it. We had a pretty good hunt. Started off right off the bat with a rare piebald whitetail. We got a pair of bucks in the 160 range and got a 182.9, which is currently second in King of the Whitetail, but I don't know if that'll stick or not. We've got a whole other day for that competition, so I don't anticipate that holding silver trophy for that long. So what did we learn in this hunt? Well, we always do, try to take a look back at our hunt and see, what, if anything, did we learn. Well, first of all, that last buck that we got, the 160, that was nothing more than the result of following tracks to the end that had a promising weight range. And even if it means that you've got to sprint, you find really old tracks, but they're promising, especially late in the hunt like this when we knew that was going to be the last thing we take. Go ahead and sprint to get close. If it hadn't have grunted, I probably would have slowed to a walk at about 30 minutes, got to a crouch at about 20 minutes, and when I got a solid outline, I would have started grunting them to us. We just got fortunate, and at 40 minutes of the track, we heard a grunt and brought him in. So, also, the bayou is a hell of a good place for whitetail hunting, and I think it's mostly because there's not but three species that are on the ground. You got mallards. Of course, you can't. Mallards can't bother you no matter what you do. You sprint around all over the place. They're not going to run and spook other things, so you don't really have to worry about them. You got whitetail, you got bear, and you got pigs. And speaking of bear, I also got my personal best bear for this season, and it was cinnamon coated, so that was pretty cool. It just kind of happened on him while we were looking for whitetail tracks. And usually in this area, I told you guys I didn't see a single buck track up here, and that's true for this hunt, but I usually do pretty well up here. Usually do real well around here and around this little cabin up here. So this hunt was a little bit odd in that it started out fast and had quite a big lull there in the middle, and then ended up alright at the end. So that's it. I want to thank those of you that have subscribed, and appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch the videos. Hope you enjoy the hunt. Let me know in comments what you'd like to see in the future, and I appreciate it. Thank you.